Okay guys, hey, Hunter Elliott here, rangehot.com. I'm out here this afternoon at the 100-yard line with what appears to be an AK-47. This is actually the Century Arms C39V2. This one, all Magpul furniture. I've run this gun already, a few mags through it, haven't had any malfunctions. It's been reliable. Haven't really done any action testing, so I know the 7.62x39 is by no means a bench rest cartridge. But, you know, still it should be pretty effective at 100 yards, iron sights as always. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some rounds loaded up. We're going to shoot a couple 5-round groups with some different ammunition manufacturers and just see how well it will print with this rifle and that cartridge. Okay guys, so we shot this out at 100 yards. I actually printed a couple not bad groups for what I would consider an AK to do. We got a couple 3.5, 4 inch groups. Iron sights, not bad. What the AK-47 is known for though is being reliable under duress. So I'm gonna let it kind of cook there in the mud hole for a few minutes, and then we're gonna pick it up and run 30 rounds through it and see what happens. Stand by.
All right.
Okay, so I would say for sure we got it pretty nasty, so stand by. We're going to see what it does. All right. Okay, I recovered it from the muddy depths. Well, it works. How about that?
Alright guys, you saw Hunter pull this out of that sweet mud pile down there. He ran 30 rounds to it pretty quick. Not good enough. So what we're going to do is run 60 quick rounds to this, thanks to Magpul coupler right here. So let's rock and roll. Good.
Okay, so y'all saw we've run 90 rounds through it pretty hard after the mud dip. Now I'm going to shoot a couple rounds downrange at 100 yards, see if any kind of accuracy's changed. Fortunately, I suckered Rick into shooting most of the rounds through it with it muddy, so it's kind of dried off now, so I don't have to wear my damn coat. So anyway, let's see what it does at 100 yards now. All right.
Top left. About dead center. Good group. Almost dead center.
Alright, here we are, y'all, at the end of the Century Arms C39V2 review. This is Century Arms' second version of the C39 AK style rifle. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you it's clear. Now this magazine is loaded. You see that? But I'm going to show you the chamber's empty. The first thing I'm going to talk about is this little notch in the safety has been machined out where you can run the safety up and it'll capture that bolt charging handle and hold the bolt open. Now I realize that's probably not a standard AK type feature, but you know, at today's ranges a lot of them require you to have a bolt hold open device, so that's a pretty good idea. So let's start out at the top about where I'm at with this rifle. Well, we've got a little over 400 rounds through it. We shot 150 rounds through it, and then you saw it take the mud bath, and we shot 250 some odd rounds after that. and the rifle proved to be 100% reliable over those 400 and some odd rounds. Didn't have any issues as far as that. Accuracy wise, well, typical AK type rifle with some of the cheaper, more inexpensive ammo like the Wolf and Tulo ammo, it did okay. We did shoot some Hornady through it, and the Hornady performed a whole lot better to 100 yards accuracy wise. Now they do build these AKs a little bit looser in order to make them a little bit more reliable. But something else to consider is the 7.62x39 cartridge is a little overgassed. And what I mean by that, it produces a whole lot more gas. The gas port is a lot bigger than it needs to be to reliably function a clean and maintained rifle. The benefit of that is when it does tend to get dirty or the bolt gets a little sticky, you still got plenty of energy running out op rod to cycle the bolt back and forth. And as with traditional AK-47s, you do have these vent tubes here to vent off the excess gas. So let's just go over the rifle and talk about what I liked and what I didn't like about it. It does have a chevron style muzzle attachment. It did pretty good as far as suppressing the flash, but you know, you do get a lot of blowback up toward the front sight. It worked fine. It worked well enough. What I didn't like about it is left-handed threads, and though that may be a traditional type AK feature, I would rather it seen have standard right-hand thread. So if you've got a muzzle device that you could attach to that you favored in 30 caliber, or even add a silencer on, that would be more standardized. Now, what Century Arms did improve is it's got a more standard type AK front sight that is adjustable for windage with an AK front sight tool. Coming in here, you can notice it does have sling swivel on it, and it does have provisions to attach sling swivel to the rear. You'll notice this one has all Magpul furniture. I know the more traditional look is the wood furniture, but to me, I'm a big fan of Magpul and everything they do. So I believe it really modernizes the look of the rifle. Now you will notice there is no bayonet lug or cleaning rod. For me, I think bayonets are pretty cool. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing a bayonet lug on it. Is that a deal breaker? Absolutely not, because truthfully, you're not going to use a bayonet for anything other than show. The cleaning rod not being there, no big deal for me. That's just something else to get lost. But the AK purists, they like to see it, you know, more traditional. I think of this rifle as a reimagining of the AK rifle. It's very, very similar in a lot of ways, but it's also different. And the differences, in my opinion, are you know, maybe a little bit of an improvement. So anyway, working our way down, we do have an adjustable rear sight for elevation. It's adjustable out to 800 yards, which is, in my opinion, very optimistic for the 7.62x39. But we did shoot it out at 100 yards, and you can see it was plenty accurate for what it is. As always, the specific ammunition and groups that we shot will be in a chart on the written review at rangehot.com. Something that a lot of people are complaining about this rifle is this is a slick sight here. It does not have provisions to mount an optic sight. Now, in my opinion, y'all know I'm an iron sight guy, so some people complain about that. Me, I do not see it a problem at all, because honestly and truly, I don't believe optics have a place on an AK style rifle. But here again, these are just my opinions. It may be a feature that you're used to seeing or that you prefer. So we'll get down to the insides. The difference now is this rifle is machined from an 11-pound block of 4140 ordnance steel. It is not stamped, and that's a huge improvement over some of the stamped rifles as far as longevity and durability. Now this rifle, 100% American made. Everything on it is American made. We did test the C39 with both the second and third generation Magpul P-Mags for the AK type rifle, and the C39 proved to be equally reliable with both styles of magazines. This particular rifle here has got an improved trigger group over the C39, and it broke pretty clean at 5.5 pounds. It did have a little bit of take up and over travel, so not what I would call a match trigger. I feel like the trigger that they've got in this was plenty excellent for what the gun was designed to do. And it does have all Wolf springs throughout, which anybody that's, you know, knows anything about guns and firearm springs, Wolf springs are where it's at. So, you know, here again, that's not a traditional type AK feature, but, you know, once again, I feel like it's an improvement over where we were at initially with the C39 and some of the previous AKs. It does have an improved finish. This is an all black nitrite finish, hard finish on the gun. Really, it hasn't shown a lot of wear other than where you expect to see it as the safety rides up and down. You know, we've got that wear here, but elsewhere, it's actually really held up well against, you know, us kind of not taking care of the rifle. It also field strips like any other AK. we all know the drill. We got the little button here, pulls the cover off. Pulls the cover off here. This is the action spring. Now comes this, and then there's your bolt. So as far as simplicity, oh my God, this thing is really nasty. As far as simplicity, I mean, there it is, field strip. Something else worth mentioning though, on the V2, yeah, I just remembered as I was field stripping it, the C39 was very specific to what furniture it would accept. Version 2 will accept all standard AK type furniture. You know, you see this little bit larger magazine release. Now, I'm not a huge fan of how the AK magazine releases. You do have to rock it in and rock it out. You know, I'm used to with an AR, you can just hit the magazine release, the mag will fall out. But that's not specific to this rifle. That's an AK feature. So anyway, this is Hunter Elliott. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for reading. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to email me or find us on YouTube or Facebook. Let me know what you think. And y'all take care of yourself. Look after one another. And I look forward to seeing you on the range.